I'm the chairman of the Hawkins County EMS Exploratory Committee, and I'm joined on that committee by some extraordinary folks, and I want to just take a moment to recognize them. They bring many years of experience in EMS and a breadth of knowledge of EMS operations and business models that will make other committees similar to this blush. It even includes not a brain surgeon, but a heart surgeon, and always got to have a rocket scientist on your committee, so we have one of those as well. Folks, just raise your hand back here if you would. Dr. Rick Mahalik is our heart surgeon. Mr. Ralph Darnell is our former NASA engineer and rocket scientist. Ms. Rebecca Beck is our current president of Wellmont, Hawkins County Memorial Hospital. Mr. Bill Killen, he was charged with creating a fire and EMS department for the United States Navy. Mr. Ed Alvis is a emergency room registered nurse and former paramedic. Mr. Stacy Mahan, Stacy's still here with us? Yes. Flight paramedic for Wings Air Rescue, works for Sullivan County EMS, and he's a Hawkins County resident. Mr. Tim Strange, who's the Dean of the Division of Public Safety at Walter State Community College and a paramedic. And Miss Jackie Charles, I didn't see her come in. Jackie is a retired, successful businesswoman and banker here in Rogersville. We're here this evening to make our recommendation to the Hawkins County Commission regarding EMS service for Hawkins County, Tennessee. I'll give you a handout that we were trying to put up as a PowerPoint. By the way, y'all need to give Nancy a new laptop and an updated Windows so it can run the up-to-date stuff. But anyway, that's beside the purpose of this committee. Imagine for a moment, if you will, that you, your loved one, your child, your grandchild are in imminent danger, in threat of losing a precious life. You pick up the phone and make the call for help, and what transpires. Let's look at a possible scenario. It's quite terrifying, not meant to just scare you, make you think about it, but it's a very possible scenario. You're down on Clouds Creek and you're babysitting your 3-year-old, Claire. She's your granddaughter. Had a good day. She's out on the deck. She falls off the deck, knocks her out. Possible head injury, possible neck injury. Little do you know, when you make that call, Unit 1 is up in Mount Carmel responding to a massive heart attack. Unit 2 is responding to an elderly lady who's become unresponsive in Churchill. Unit 3 and 4 have been sent out to Phipps Bend area of Highway 11W for a terrible collision of an SUV and a semi-truck. Unit 5 is in Bulls Gap at another accident on Highway 11E. Unit 6, they're involved in another accident somewhere here in Hawkins County. All EMS vehicles are accounted for. Granger County's busy, they can't help out. Hamlin County's busy, they can't help out. That's the one's closest down to Mooresburg. So all the EMS units are busy. The next call goes out to the closest truck, and that's in Sullivan County on Wilcox Drive. You're talking a 35 to 45 minute time to get down there and answer this call. Hopefully little Claire can lie still, not move anything. She hadn't broken her neck, hopefully, doesn't paralyze anything. Hopefully she'll be fine and no further problems occur. But put this scenario out there. What if it's your wife or husband or your mother or your father and they're having a massive stroke or a heart attack? Dr. Mahalik and I can testify to you that 4 to 5 minutes is huge in this situation. It's a situation where it can mean life or death. It's a situation where it can mean someone lives a decent life or someone lives a life that is incapacitated in some way for the rest of their life. It's terrifying. Emergency medical services are a very essential service to everybody involved. You as commissioners represent the people of Hawkins County, the residents of Hawkins County. What if there were no ambulance to answer that call? What if the scenario did transpire? What if, God forbid, we had a situation that happened in Chattanooga just a few days ago? There aren't 12 ambulances in Hawkins County and Hancock County combined. You'd have to call on other areas to pitch in. So it's a situation that is quite scary. If you look at your packet, what we've done, we've made some assumptions on the first page over. The emergency medical, basic life support, and advanced life support is a critical service. EMS service must be provided with comparable response times throughout the counties. EMS is required 24/7, 365. I think everyone would agree with that. EMS is desired to be a self-sustaining program, at least break even. So where are we at today? Well, we know what's happened and transpired with Churchill EMS and Hawkins County EMS taking over that end of the county as well to answer emergency medical calls. Right now, the Hawkins County EMS is doing the best they can within operational constraints. Sometimes they've operated at a loss. Sometimes they operated close to having a loss. Sometimes it's just a steady flow and they make it. They're encountering staffing difficulties. At times they can't stay competitive with surrounding counties in salary and or benefits, and they have to utilize a lot of part-time help. The big issue with Hawkins County EMS and maintaining the service that they have and keeping good, stable employment is people are concerned, is there going to be a job for me in the future? You know, they don't know from 1 month to the next, is this still going to be here? I think initially that a lot of the Churchill EMS folks were absorbed into the Hawkins County system, but when they got to the point of wondering if, hey, are they still going to be open next month? Then they started looking elsewhere and they left. So that's where we're at today. What are some of the alternatives? And we came up with 5 alternatives. The first one is you can keep Hawkins County EMS as is with the current subsidy. You give them $30,000 a year and that's it. Hope that they make it. Just leave them out there. The second one is a Hawkins County EMS fully subsidized without any operational changes. This is to cover the cost beyond billing recovery to provide job security to staff. In other words, if they have a loss, the county commission agrees to cover that loss so that people know that they've got a job. That they have, 3 months down the road, 4 months, 6 months, a year, they know that they've got stable employment and they stay with Hawkins County EMS. This then will become a county-owned, county-operated, private oversight type system. And when I say county-owned, the county would own it. They would become county employees. The private oversight, what that means is that we would want a pre-hospital board to oversee the Hawkins County EMS. That would take the politics of the county commission out of it. That would take the politics of the EMS board running it out of it and have a private committee that oversees the operations, day-to-day operations, the director answering to them overseeing the financials of the situation and running Hawkins County EMS. The third alternative is Hawkins County EMS with competitive improvements. This allows for salary and benefits to be competitive with the local market. They keep what they've got, they get some others in to help them. It's county owned, they become county employees, again private oversight. The fourth option is Hawkins County EMS with competitive improvements and equipment refresh. This is where the similar situation to everything above, but now you're finding funding to cover upcoming equipment refresh costs. In other words, they're due right now for a new truck. They need at least one new truck to keep going. With the parameters that are set from county commission in the past with the EMS oversight, there's going to be a couple of trucks that need to be replaced pretty soon. The last alternative is a for-profit service coming in and taking over EMS services in Hawkins County. The next page, Hawkins County EMS as is, like we said. These numbers, we met with Hawkins County EMS and came up with these numbers. Mr. Strange was able to get a hold of a lot of information for us as we sat and met and came up with these alternatives. It's anticipated they'll get 8,500 calls per year with 7,000 transports per year. Running with 6 to 7 ambulances, the probable cost of this is going to be $2 million. Their billing is right at $4.1 million for that. Cash after discounts and write-offs would be in the area of $2.3 million, and they would get the subsidy from the county for $30,000. The risk of this, continued staff turnover, utilization of part-time employees, and the cash and cost numbers listed here may be optimistic. So that leads us to say that it's a high risk that Hawkins County EMS will close in the very near future with this situation. The next alternative is Hawkins County EMS fully subsidized with no operational changes. Again, the same number of calls and transports, same number of ambulances, probable cost does not change, nor does billing or cash after discounts. The subsidy now grows from $30,000 plus any cash flow issues that they may have. In other words, to meet payroll. Whatever comes up, county commission has agreed to come on board and take care of that. The risk, you have less staff turnover, less utilization of part-time employees. Your cash and cost numbers, again, may be optimistic. The county has to find a way to fund the shortfalls. And this is the one we call the Band-Aid approach. Your next alternative is the Hawkins County EMS county-owned with competitive improvements. Again, same numbers. The cost goes to $2.5 million. And it goes up because of your capital, or not your capital, but your improvements in salary and the benefits. Billings stay the same, cash after discounts and write-off stays the same. Your subsidy is, again, any cash flow issues and revenue shortfalls. It's county-owned, county employees, private oversight. Now let me throw this in there. If you go any of these routes where it's county-owned, then what you're going to do is you're going to create another whole line item budget in your budget that's kind of like, say, the sheriff's department, only it'll be EMS. And you'll be able to run it out of that. Your cash flow comes in and out of there. Anything that they make goes in there to help pay for this salary, to help pay for this insurance, to help pay for any trucks that they may have. That goes in there, and it's utilized all for EMS stuff. You don't want to put it into the general fund because you know how that can kind of seep out and go different ways sometimes. You want to make you a whole different budget line item for this. Now the risk with this alternative is less staff turnover. You have more full-time employees with this. Your cash and cost numbers, again, may be optimistic. The county is now exposed to expenses to actual costs. And we'll give you some figures here in just a second of what we've seen. The final alternative is the Hawkins County EMS that's county-owned with capital improvements and equipment refresh. Again, the numbers up top don't change. Subsidy is any cash flow issues and revenue shortfalls. Capital investment is up to $1.5 million over a 5-year period. Again, it's county-owned, county employees, private oversight. Risk, you have less staff turnover, you have more stable full-time employees. Again, your cash and cost numbers may be optimistic. The county is exposed to expenses to actual costs, but the revenue generated by the EMS stays in the HCMS department budget line. Therefore, it helps sustain the department with hopefully a minimal county payout. This indicates that there is a possibility of this being a self-sustained entity for the most part, except for the capital outlay improvements. And that essentially capital outlay improvements are the ambulances that are going to come along that will need to be purchased along the way. The county finds a way to fund the capital investment and other revenue shortfalls, and we've estimated that for probably $300,000 to $500,000 per year for the next 5 years maximum, you would be able to do this. Now, these are numbers that may be on the high end. We've researched what the cost of a mini-mod ambulance would be, and it's anywhere from $150,000 to $200,000, I think, is what we found. That's one of the ones like they've got now, the modular, that's to the highest of standards. We've looked at that. We've actually had some estimates sent to us. We've had different types of ambulances sent to us and pricing on that. The last alternative is a for-profit service. This would be a contract for detailed service expectations, and we looked at this as a possible alternative simply because it is. This was addressed by County Commission several months ago. But if a private service is allowed to come in, there are several possibilities. There's potential to cherry pick a service area. What you have got to realize that in Hawkins County, your payer mix or your insurances or how you're going to get paid varies from the Sullivan County line all the way down to the Granger County line. The payer mix is a lot better in Mount Carmel and Churchill simply because people have jobs and industries that have better insurance. It's a lot easier to collect from better insurance and get more money than it is from Medicaid or Medicare. That's a lot of the problems down here. As a physician, I know that. It's a lot easier with private insurances. So there's the capability to cherry pick certain areas that you want to be in. Potential for an aggressive cost model. And when we say this, we're talking about what they charge. I do not have those sheets in front of me. We've had those. I've got them if anybody would ever want to go over them with me. But currently, the Hawkins County EMS fee schedule is low. They don't actually probably charge enough for a lot of the things they do. If you proceed and take them in, or whether you do or not, they need to look at their fee schedule and up their charges, because the way it works is a private insurance is billed, say, $900. Well, they're going to pay maybe 60 or 70% of that, 600 of that 900. The rest is going to fall back on that patient. You bill a Medicaid patient or a Medicare patient that $900, and they may pay $150 to $200. It's a lot different. That's what I mean by the payer mix. It goes down a lot. So now that patient's going to get a bill for $750 instead of the $300. So that's what the aggressive cost model is. That leads to the potential for an aggressive collection model. Currently, Hawkins County EMS does not do collections. If they send somebody a bill for $200 and they try for 90 days to collect on it, they don't send it over to a collection agency. The odds are with private, for-profit private service coming in, you're going to see an aggressive collection model. That's going to come back on you guys. If you have that come in, Commissioner Mess may get a phone call at 7 o'clock tonight saying, hey, I got a bill today. Can you take care of this for me? Well, no, really, I can't. I can't do anything about it. But that's some of the things that you might be up facing. Potential for county supportive collection losses. They may ask county commission to back them in these collections. I doubt it. Most of these outfits are very well off. They can afford to do a lot more than a nonprofit agency can, but there is that possibility. There's a potential for departure if profit targets are not realized. They may come in and say, let us have this. We'll be okay. And 6 months, 9 months, 3 months down the road, they say, look, we can't make it here. We're pulling out. We're breaking the contract. Well, if you've got a bond, maybe they've given you a bond for $500,000. Got news for you. It needs to be about 5 to 7 million. Because what can happen is if they depart, it's the same thing that's going on right now in Unicoi and Cobb counties. They've had private entities, for-profit services providing their EMS. They pulled out, and now Unicoi and Cobb County are faced with the situation of providing EMS. Their county commissions are looking at that right now. Even while we were in this study, Shelby County down toward Memphis had the same thing happen to them. For-profit agency running their EMS kept coming back to county commission and say, we need more money. We need you to help us a little bit more. Give us $300,000 next month. We need it. County commission said, no, we're done. They pulled out. Now Shelby County's having to work on getting their EMS up. So it's a high difficulty to return to the prior model. If you put a for-profit agency, a private entity in right now, that shuts the doors on Hawkins County EMS service completely. They're done. You can close them down. It's going to cost you a lot of money to return to the prior model. You get a for-profit agency coming in, and they pull out. They've already put Hawkins County EMS out of business. You don't have anything. You don't have staff. You don't have ambulances. You don't have your sites to park your ambulances. So now you're looking at what we figure is probably a $5 to $7 million outlay that you're going to have to spend to start from scratch if Hawkins County EMS is terminated and a for-profit agency is put in. And like I said, if they offer you a surety bond of $500,000, you may think that looks good. If they pull out, we get $500,000 we can use. You don't have an EMS service. And it's going to cost you 5 to 7 to do it, 5 to 7 million. And again, the references, Unicoi County, Cobb County, most recently, Shelby County. So this committee has looked at all the numbers. We've looked at what's happened up the road. We've looked at all the counties around us. Again, Mr. Strange, Mr. Mahan, Mr. Killen have had exceptional resources to draw on and give us numbers that we've been able to utilize. So our recommendation is that the Hawkins County Commission step up to the plate and fully subsidize with competitive improvements. In other words, the fourth alternative, the whole shoot match. Just take it over. It's not, I don't think, our estimates may be a little high, 300 to 500,000 per year. That's counting, buying an ambulance every year for the next 5 years, and you're looking at that being 150 to 200,000, plus any subsidy of their salaries, insurance. The money that they're bringing in will probably pay for their insurance. It probably won't cost the county anything in that regard. Again, the money that they generate will be coming back into the county to help pay for all of this. So that's our suggestion. Our recommendation is to fully subsidize with competitive improvements. Plan of migration to the county. Mr. Phillips, we would have to get with him and see how this would transpire with the nonprofit organization, the legal issues, the personnel issues, the operational issues. Now, we've talked with the Hawkins County EMS board about these things, and they're ready right this minute for you guys to say, yes, we want it, we'll do it. We want to provide for our residents of Hawkins County the most stable, economical, and ready to respond EMS that we can have, and we think it's what we've got right now with some upgrades. So you migrate to the county, the EMS becomes county employees with benefits. It's a county-owned EMS with an outside board to oversee. You subsidize the cash flow shortfall, which we estimate could be $1 million over the next 5 years, which would be $200,000 a year. And again, that may be plus or minus. That may be a high number. Refresh the staffing as needed to remain competitive. Modernize and refresh the fleet. And we estimate that at being $1.5 million plus or minus over the next 5 years. So that's another $300,000 per year. That's where we got those numbers of $300,000 to $500,000 per year maximum for the next 5 years. Looking at Hawkins County investment, this commission making the investment for Hawkins County of $1.5 to $2.5 million maximum over the next 5 years to maintain a local, respectable, hardworking EMS service that is under county auspices with private oversight and no outside influences. That way you guys don't have to worry about so-and-so calling you about a bill. You don't have to worry about them calling you all. Hey, can you get my nephew on? Can you get him a job? It's out of, private oversight committee takes all this out of your hands. We just make suggestions to the director of how to flow. We make suggestions on the fee schedule, suggestions on collections, and trying to keep it financially stable where the county doesn't pay anything. Hey, look, all of us, but I think Tim's the only one. Tim and Rebecca are the only two that live in Hawkins County on this committee. We all pay Hawkins County taxes. I pay a lot of Hawkins County taxes. I don't want to see my taxes go up. I don't want to see wheel taxes go up. But you know what? I've had a heart attack. I almost died. I had a car wreck. That's why I'm still sitting in this chair 30 years later. I almost died. I've got kids that I want protected. Y'all got kids and grandkids and moms and dads and wives that you want protected. You've got to think about this. You know, the bottom line, if you look at that next page, the bottom line is like the old friend oil filter commercial. You can pay me now, you can pay me later. Ladies and gentlemen, it's going to come down to this county commission making the decision of what they want to do. And the next slide says, one of those sayings is, don't say you can't afford it. In this situation, you can't afford not to do it. And then finally, the last slide, the picture there, Abraham Lincoln said one time that next to creating life, the finest thing a man can do is to save one. This issue is about people's lives. It's not about profits. It's not about money. It's not about getting reelected, politics. It's about people's lives. I appreciate you all giving me the time and my committee time to present this to you. I really appreciate my committee and all the hard work and research that they put into this. And we just appreciate the opportunity to come before you this evening. Thank you. I'm open for any questions.
Any other office holder have a report?
Thank you.
I've got a quick question.
Okay.
Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
Well, this is probably not for Dr. Jones as much as it may be for legal counsel and Ms. Buchanan. How would this, by TCA code, would you be able to set up an entity separate from general funds such as what there is with solid waste and the highway department?
In other words, set up a separate account, is that what you're saying, to run
Separate
this thing?
entity that was essentially self-funded, like.
You mean one that had its own fund balance?
Right.
Yeah,
Like solid waste?
Right.
I suppose that could be done with certain safeguards built into it that would be permissible legally.
I think in some other surrounding counties, they are a part of the general fund. That's my understanding for Granger, Green.
Sullivan County set up that way, ain't it? The guy from Sullivan County, isn't it set up that way?
Yes, ma'am, sir, we're on an enterprise fund.
Yes. Now, I knew you was set up some way with, Mr. John Cross. I was talking to him the other day.
Dr. Jones, you and your board, from the commission, we thank y'all for what y'all done, donating your time, regardless which way it goes. We appreciate the time and donation y'all done to have to do for us.
Thank you.
The next step on this, should the Public Safety Committee and this committee as well as Budget Committee, should we meet jointly?
Procedurally, you certainly could if you wanted to.
I think there's several more questions, a lot of information we'll need to collect jointly.
Of course, we'll have to bring Hawkins County EMS into this, because we have a contract with them right now, so that would have to be, given some thought.
Franchise. Are they franchised?
They have 3 years.
Yeah, 3 years, okay.
And also, we did that, a representative from their board, the president, or their whole board. Since it's a funding issue, so we want to make jointly with them. And it does involve new money and funds.
Can you go? Okay, are we ready to move on? All right.
Yes,
Okay.
myself and Chairman Bailey will coordinate on it.
Okay, we have commendation recognition.